So welcome everybody. It is August 14th. We're back for another coaching session. And as
Yes.
requested, we're going to do some chair stuff today. And we're going to talk a little bit about cardio. I put together a presentation to talk about cardio. Since everyone's kind of getting in the groove of walking and getting more active, we talk
Mhm.
about some best practices for that to get everything going. So before we get into it, anybody have a victory they'd like to share over the last week that they've experienced? Anything good going on out there? Any
Share
We
your
had a
victory.
we had a late birthday in the house, a belated birthday. Pat celebrated her
Yes.
birthday yesterday.
Yes.
How
I'm
was that? You
trying
do anything fun?
it it was no, well, I worked and in church and I was celebrated. We went to the movies the night before and just the love, Rod, just receive from people messages and stuff and it's not even truly about the gifts, but just the gift of life. And
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
being a part of with ritual fitness is because, and I thank you for caring and loving your family like that, for losing our mom at 42, your grandmother, and our sister at 45. Shoot, I want to
Yeah.
get it together.
Absolutely. It's important. It's
Mhm.
important. Jamie and I talk all the time about it, and she's getting more motivated, and that's just my goal and passion to get everyone motivated and moving. So, any other victories out there? Bernie's jumping in. Let's get her in
Yeah,
the building.
our fans
Welcome,
trying
Bernice.
to where she go.
Well, I'll celebrate a quick victory. My new website, rodstanley.com, is up. It's still a work in progress, of course. And so there's a few blogs on there. I'll be putting those in the group chats as I put more of those out so you guys can stay up to date with what's happening there. What else is going on? Of course, Jerry got his new address the other day. So that was a realization of what's to come, that we're about to be empty nesters in about 2 or 3 weeks. So,
Ooh.
yeah, so that's exciting. And that's it. So if there's no more victories to share, we're going to get to it.
Okay.
So we're going to start with some chair exercises. The first things we'll go through are called CARs, C-A-R. And the CAR stands for a controlled articular rotation. And these are important things because they help mobility. We have what we call 5 kinetic chain checkpoints. So we have the ankle, the knee, the hip, the shoulder, and the neck. And these are areas that we look at as fitness professionals to ensure that we have good mobility in all those areas. So the first one is super simple. And I'll bring my leg up here so you can see. It's an ankle car, and we'll have everybody jump along. So with this ankle car, you can do it right on the floor. I just have my leg elevated. You don't have to elevate your foot. I'm just trying to show you here. But what we're doing with the ankle car is making a big circle, and you're just moving that ankle to its largest range of motion possible. And the slower you go with these cars, the better it is. And you might notice that you hear some pops, some crits, some things that might
Yes.
not. Yes, and that's what we want. So
Yeah.
every time you move this circle, see how far you can move it to the right. See if you can get a real good plant this
Ooh,
way, and then move it as far as you can to
I
the
got a
left.
cramp.
And you might get a little cramp in the foot or the toe, the calf. That's completely normal. And and again, you don't have to bring your leg up in the air. You can rest it on the floor and do the same thing, and just
Okay.
make as big of a circle as you can. And you only
Big.
have to do about 5 or 6 each direction. So let's go 5 times with that right foot, making a big circle. And again, the slower you move, the better. And
Okay.
I have my hand here on my knee to prevent my big bone, the femur, from moving a whole lot. So with these controlled articular rotations, you're working on moving one joint at a time. So you want to see if you can only move your ankle joint into a really big circle. And once you go 5 or 6 clockwise, you go 5 or 6 counterclockwise. Okay. How's everybody doing with that one?
Good.
Everybody
Good.
got a little popping going on?
Where
I know
that
I do.
popping?
I know I do. After you get 5, 6 on the right, let's switch to the left side. And one thing that you'll notice is that you might have more range of motion on one foot than you do on the other foot. And
Yeah, I
I
do.
do. I
yeah,
do.
and a lot of times we sprain ankles, especially the athletes in the building. You sprain some ankles, twisted some ankles walking around,
Mhm.
and then that creates some stiffness. So these cars help work that stiffness out of those joints. And over time, we want to get a bigger and bigger circle. So next one, you can keep working through that one, is the knee joint. The knee doesn't move a whole lot, but we can articulate the knee a little bit. And again, you can keep your leg on the floor again. And if you take your hand like this, you can feel the little joint right underneath the patella. And I'm
Yes.
touching here. Yeah. And you're going to plant the foot on the floor real solid. And you want to think of moving this knee joint side to side. And again, the knee is mostly a hinge joint, so it goes this way. So it doesn't have a lot of circular motion, but we do want to be able to get a little motion circular. So do your best to keep the femur in place and just kind of move this foot side to side. And you want to see if you can feel this bone move a little bit to the left and right.
Oh,
Is anybody able to feel that?
What about the cramp?
yes.
Foot locked up.
If you get a cramp in your keep doing it. Just work through it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Woo,
And the
that-
cramps are a good thing. It's an indication that, that's probably a movement that you haven't done in a while or maybe ever. And over time, that should go away, those cramps, as you get better and get used to using these types of slow motions. Okay. The next one is the hip. The hip is a little bit challenging to get from a seated uh, motion, but you can get a little bit of hip motion in here. So we're just bringing this knee up high and just doing
Oh,
whatever you can to
All
make
right. There you go.
that's painful.
the hip is painful, Mom. Is that what you said?
Well, lifting that knee up is just popping.
Okay.
That popping in that knee.
So what you can do too, especially to get the hip involved, you can use your arms to kind of help move it through and this is called passive range of motion. So you're not using your strength of your leg muscles or your hips, you're just kind of assisting it with your arms. And this passive range of motion is good too because it's going to help lubricate the joints, especially if you have some stiffness and arthritis in those hips or knees, whatever it may be. Movement and motion is the best thing you can do. It's going to just help articulate that joint. And we'll do the same thing, making some hip circles. And just like we did on the ankle, you want to go clockwise and counterclockwise. And with these cards, you don't have to do a whole lot of them, just about 5 to 6. And this is something you can do a little bit every day or when you're kind of thinking about it. This is a really good one to do, especially from a standing position, but we're just working seated today. We'll keep it easy. And just move that hip through as big as range of motion you can create. And keep working on that one. And I'm going to move up to the shoulder. So Aunt Angie mentioned to me earlier today that they're working on her scapula in PT. So I'm going to turn to the side just a little bit. We have quite a few motions that our scapula is supposed to do. And the scapula is or the shoulder blade is that big bone that's on the back of the rib cage. And it's
Yeah.
supposed to go 4 different motions. So we have what's called scapular elevation, protraction, where the scapula kind of moves forward. And when the scapula moves forward, you should feel like your shoulder blade is really pushing really hard up against your rib cage. And then you're going to move it down and feel like the scapula is moving down your rib cage and creating maybe like a little cramp here beneath the shoulder blade. And then the last one is called retraction, where the shoulder blade moves closer to the spine. So it's kind of a weird motion, and you want to try to articulate this shoulder as best you can without the entire body moving. So as you can see, my arm is completely straight, but I'm going through these 4 motions. The first one, elevation. Then we have this protraction where the scapula moves forward. And if you notice, I'm not moving my body because we're articulating one joint at a time. And once that moves forward, then you're going to pull it down. Use all the muscles here to pull that scapula down. You might get a little cramp there. And then the last one is retraction, where the scapula squeezes in towards the spine. And you're just going to work through all 4 of these motions as many times as you can. And what I see a lot of times is people try to kind of move the whole body.
Right.
And we don't want to do that. Just kind of articulate that scapula. So this is a little bit tricky to get down at first. But once you practice it, you'll have it down. So the first part is kind of thinking of moving your shoulder up towards 12 o'clock. And then you're going to think of pushing up forward towards the wall. And then you're going to pull it down towards 6 o'clock. And then squeeze it over to 3 o'clock. And just keep moving that. 5 or 6 of those motions is really good each side. And then the last thing is just the shoulder blade, moving it through its full range of motion. For those of us who can do that, this is a really good one. I like to start in front of the body, bring it up, down and around, making a big circle, and then reversing it back to the front. Across the body, bring it up and down, here. So these are all good warm-ups prior to doing exercise to kind of get these joints lubricated so they can move better for us. Okay. And same thing, 5 of those each side. Was everybody able to get that scapula moving?
I see
Like-
you guys.
Yes.
Okay. And the last one is the neck, which is that 5th checkpoint we're talking about. So with the neck, we want to think of taking this ear to the shoulder. And then we're going to bring the neck down, the chin to the forehead, to the chest, I'm sorry. Then bringing that ear over to the other shoulder. And then you go back to the other side. So doing your best to keep the shoulders as stationary as possible. Bring that ear over, bring the chin down, then the ear to the other shoulder, and then back. If you're feeling adventurous, you can make a big circle all the way around here. And again, moving through all of these super slow is what you really want to focus on so you can lubricate the joints. So that's a nice little warm up to do before you do any exercise. A lot of times if you're standing around at sitting around at the store, you have a few minutes to spare. You can work through some of these articulations of the joint to get some mobility. So now we're going to step it up to a little bit of a workout, and we're going to do some total body movements. So the first thing we're going to do is just some leg stuff, and you guys can join along with me. We've already warmed up the joints a little bit. So here we're just sitting up tall. Sitting up tall is going to really work on the posture. If you feel the muscles in the mid back, like they're, firing up, like they're working, that's what we want, really working that posture. And here we're just warming up the legs, so alternating. Okay. How we doing? We need to get some music going. I guess I should have got some music going. Get us pumped up. So now that we got the legs going, we're gonna alternate the legs with the arms. So now we're starting to get some arm movement in. Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
Fly like an
Yep, we're
eagle.
gonna fly away. I brought my dumbbells. I don't know if you guys got dumbbells. I like to step it up and try to lift a little harder, always trying to build that muscle. And then let's go a little side body movement. So now we'll reach to the side. And this is good. And we can coordinate this. If you can't get over here, I see Andrew's face there. If you're not able to take the arms over the head, you can just lean to the side. There's always a modification here. So you can alternate that movement with the body. Just kind of get some trunk rotations. Good. And then here. And you can have fun with these chair exercises. There's a lot of different ways you can move. And now let's bring the legs in with the trunk rotation.
Oh, I like
Really try to step it up a little bit. Okay. Yeah. Almost like the bank head bounce going on. Like
That's what that looks like.
Yeah. And then and now let's get some hip movement in. So here we're just moving the legs side to side. So with these side to side movements, the hips are super strong. This movement right here is a really good movement, which is called a hip abduction. A lot of times these hip muscles get weak, but this exercise is really good to help the glute medius. This is a muscle that I have to work a lot with on all my clients. And then we can get that hip movement in with the shoulders now.
What? Okay.
And coordinate that. Good. Cool. Everybody still with me? Sitting up tall.
Yeah.
Like great posture. My heart rate's getting up a little bit. Good. Good. And let's switch it up to lateral raises. And we'll coordinate those with the legs. Alternating those legs. Get some big breath in. Big breaths out. Getting that heart rate up. This is like a little bit of cardio, which we're going to talk about next.
Yeah.
And last up, we got some curls, overhead press.
Oh, Aunt Bernice.
Let's go 5 more.
Her weight.
She's got some weights going on.
Okay.
She's been getting it in.
Yes.
Everybody's doing great. Let's go 2 more of those. And last one. Good. And we can get a little bit of ab work in from the chair too. So we'll take that left leg out. We're going to extend it and we're going to bring that knee up.
Uh-oh.
And let's twist. Whatever your range of motion is, maybe you just got a little twist. That's okay. If you want to take it up a notch. You can bring that knee up to the elbow. Let's go 5 more.
Mm. Mm.
Good. Here we go. We're looking good too.
Getting
The
it
last one,
now.
switch it up, other side. Good. And again, if you just want to bring the leg up, that's all good. If you want to just twist, that's all good too. You don't even have to bring the arms up if that's a problem. You can just go here and twist. It all works.
Are we keeping our
Keep it
back
moving.
straight the whole time?
Keeping the back straight the whole time. Got to work that core.
Okay.
Get that core strength. You got it. So keeping the core up, chest up high. Good. Let's go 2 more on the right side. And last one. Good. So next up, we got what's called a good morning. This is a good one for the lower back. You could do it a few ways. If you have a weight, you can take a weight across your chest. If you don't have a weight, that's okay as well. All we're gonna do is take the legs really wide. And I'll turn this way. Oh, I'm gonna tear up my house there. You can.
Oh, something fell.
Oh, it's a picture. I get it.
Yeah.
So we turn to the side here and just hinge forward at the waist. This is a really good one for the low back. So what you want to do is plant your feet firmly on the ground. Think of being long. You're going to hinge forward at the waist. So keep the back as straight as you can. As you lean forward, you might feel this one in the inner thigh. And you're going to exhale as you bring it up. Big breath in. And then exhale as you bring it up. To get a little bit more, you can push into the floor as you lift your body back up. That's going to really get the glutes and the hamstrings firing up. So as you lift back up, push hard into the floor and see if you can feel those hip muscles start to engage. Let's go 3 more. Big breath in on the way down.
We're not pushing our heads. We're using our back strength, correct?
You got it. We're using the back strength on this one. This is a good morning, good for the lower back and the hips. So you're going to hinge forward at the waist, making sure we're not rounding the shoulders. Chest up high, open up the chest and hinge forward, be long, back flat. And once you feel that good stretch here, exhale as you push back up. Let's go 3 more, 2 more, and last one. Good. So we got a little leg movement, little arm movement, core work, all in one. And then we're going to cool it down.
Okay.
Cool. So we got a good, quick 5-minute workout in. Got the heart rates up a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's good. I'm going to regroup.
All right.
Move to the chair. I don't know. I got a little sweaty doing that one. I don't know. How'd you guys feel?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Chair exercises and such to help people out. I love it.
Rod,
Yeah, who's that? Somebody's
it's Renee. How are you?
Hey, Renee, what's going on?
I have a question with that last exercise
Good morning.
that does that help with the sciatic nerve as well? Because I have a little trouble with that.
I wouldn't say directly. I wouldn't say directly. If you want to get more of a stretch with the sciatic nerve, you can kind of do a similar thing and just
Okay.
side a little bit more.
Okay.
Yeah, so kind of like I'm doing here, where I'm bringing my right elbow towards my right knee.
Okay.
Left elbow towards the right knee, but still going to that hinge pattern where you're leaning forward. And that'll give you a little bit more of a stretch on the outer part of the back hip.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Any more questions on that for some little chair exercises? How'd you guys feel with those?
I felt good.
Cool.
Me too.
I have trouble.
You had some trouble, Mom?
I have trouble with getting this knee up. I can't get it up. I can't get my knees up high.
You mean so like this, being able to bring it up like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
My knees pops when I do it.
But even if you grab it with your hand and kind of assist it up there?
I had to assist it.
Okay. Yeah, Mom, I would start with just kind of assisting it. Do you have exercise bands?
I don't.
Okay.
I'm trying to get some.
Yeah, if you get some exercise bands, I could walk you through some stuff that'll help with assisting that leg up. With that, makes it more pain free. Because you can use a band like I'll stand up here. You can use a band and tie it up to something high, and then put your leg in it, and it'll help kind of pull the leg up. And you
Okay,
can do that from a seated position too.
I got you.
Sometimes just working through the passive range of motion without using your muscles will help start to increase it. And then as you get stronger, you can, take a lighter band and a lighter band, and then until you can do your body weight. But I could walk you through that once you have some bands.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So everybody's been walking. I know, Mom, you got up there and started walking last week. We set that goal of 15 minutes for the group, 15 minutes of walking a few times a week. And I see a few people jumped out there and took it to heart and got going. So what's been your experience with that, Mom?
I don't walk outside. I walk downstairs in my den. So
That works.
I just circle around in the den. It took about 40 times to do 15 minutes. Just around in
Okay,
the
40 times.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Like a hamster on a wheel in there. Huh?
yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's
But
good.
Dr. A actually told me a while back that I could just walk in the house. So
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
that was great advice from somebody who knows what they're talking about.
Right.
Well, that's awesome. How do you feel after those walks?
Uh, Sort of out of breath. I mean,
Okay.
a good bit out of breath.
I understand.
Oh,
I know you. That's good though. You're doing it, and keep doing it. You're gonna get better and better. So speaking of out of breath, we're gonna talk a little bit about cardio. Unless you guys have any more questions, I've put together a quick presentation to help maximize the cardio even more.
Okay.
So I'm gonna share the screen here, and then we'll ask a few questions about that. Are you guys able to see the screen here?
I can see it.
yes.
I
All
asked you a
right.
question earlier, Rod,
Sure.
about my PT.
Okay.
Do I log it as strength training? That's what I did today. But do
Oh
I
yes.
just log it
Yeah,
as strength training?
log it
Okay,
as strength training. Yep, absolutely.
perfect. So that's
Yep.
Tuesdays and Thursdays. I do an hour of it then.
You've got two built-in workouts already. You're ahead of the
Tell
game.
me about it. And I get massages too. I get like 15-minute massages. It's amazing.
That is
Oh,
nice. That is nice. So we'll get to it. Cardio 101. Let me get this thing into presentation mode. Cardio 101.
Yes.
So cardio, a lot of benefits. What is cardiorespiratory exercise? There's so many different things you hear about it, how to do it, how to make it the most effective. We'll talk about some of those benefits really quickly. A few of the modes of cardio, as well as the intensity and how to maximize it and apply it to your life. So cardiovascular exercise, just like it sounds, most of us think of it as running, walking, jumping, sprinting, running up hills. And all of this is aerobic exercise, which means oxygen. So this aerobic exercise increases our oxygenation capacity, which helps our heart, our lungs, and all those things get better. And these are some of the benefits that we can experience from cardio: weight loss, better oxygen system, stronger heart and lungs, reduced stress, all the types of diseases that can be reduced from doing this cardiovascular exercise. And I'm sure all of us want a few of these benefits here: better body composition, feeling better, more
Yeah.
energy. Who doesn't want a little more energy?
Right.
Right.
I know I want a little more energy. So there's different states of cardio. There's steady state cardio, like Mom mentioned earlier. She's walking through her home. That's an example of steady state cardio. High intensity continuous training. That's when you're just ramping it up a little bit, and you can feel your heart rate up. Long, slow distance. This is more the marathon style. Fartlek is messing with different speeds, but we'll look at those in a little bit more detail later. So steady state cardio. This means just cardio, no rest intervals. Ideally, we want to get the heart rate up to about 60 to 80% of max heart rate. That's where you're going to be in that zone of burning more fat for energy. And that's also in that state where you feel like you can keep going, but you don't really want to talk. You can talk a little bit and keep going. So you're not super out of breath. That's a good example of that steady state. High intensity continuous training, these are people who are really trying to push it a little bit, and they're running probably 3/4 speed at this tempo. And this is just what's going to really develop the cardiovascular endurance, which is important as we age to have that good cardiovascular endurance, keeping the heart healthy. And you don't miss this with a slower pace. so you don't burn out. And it can be a little bit strenuous. Slow distance. This is going lower heart rate at a longer distance, more the marathon style pace. It's also training at a talking pace, but it's not the pace that's going to help get you to burn the most fat, which a lot of us are wanting to lose fat and change our body composition. So we'll talk about the most advantageous way to do that in a little bit. Fartlek training, I don't think we have too many people who are going to get in fartlek training in this group just yet, but that would be the plan, right? To really get the intensity up. And this is when you're finishing full speed up a hill for 100 yards. And I haven't done that in a while myself, sprinting full speed. But we can't all do some form of high intensity training, and this is going to be based on an individual level, based on where your own heart rate is, because everyone's high intensity can be individualized because we all have our own level of fitness that we're trying to improve. So we'll talk about how we can individualize this in just a little bit. Last but not least, high intensity interval training is physically demanding, may not be for everyone, but it puts us in this state where we're going to have an elevated metabolism after we're done training. So what that means is, let's say you do some high intensity interval training and your heart rate is your body has to repay the oxygen debt that was created from the exercise. So what that means is when you're running really hard, you'll notice that your body is not able to take in enough oxygen because you're breathing super hard.
Yeah.
And you're trying to catch your breath. And this state is what we want because that's going to keep our metabolism revved up. So everyone can get to this state on their own individual level. So how do we apply these things to ourselves? What kind of activities do you like? What's successful to you? We already have some people being super creative in the group and just walking inside the house. Whatever you need to do to get moving. And then we'll look at how often we should do it, how hard we should work, and why we've already kind of talked about why we need to do it. And also avoiding doing too much because it can lead to diminishing returns. To get to most goals, most people only need to do 2 to 4 days a week of cardio, at least 20 minutes. If you want to lose weight, it could be a little bit more. So maybe 4 times a week, 30 minutes a day. If you were training for a triathlon, you're going to be doing a lot more than that. But we don't have any triathletes today. So when it
I
comes
like
to
that.
exercise, let's say that we do have a
I like
triathlete.
that. Oh, you said today. I like that. That it may
Oh,
be.
always? Yeah, in the future we'll get some, right? We'll get some. So intensity is huge. That's important. Like a lot of my clients, they like training with me because I push them to a level that they wouldn't get to by themselves. But also what the intensity does is allows us not to waste our time so we can maximize it and get the benefit that we want from doing this exercise. So how do we determine the levels of intensity for all of these different types of cardio? Okay, so we have this thing called METs. METs is what's called a metabolic equivalent, and this is kind of a base amount of energy expended from any activity that we do. Everybody needs a certain amount of oxygen to stay healthy, and that number is 3.5 milliliters per kilogram of body weight. You don't have to remember that, but if we're a little bit low, we're not getting in enough oxygen, it's going to be very detrimental for our health. So let's take a look at what this means in real world terms so it makes a little bit more sense. So a metabolic equivalent is this. So if you're sitting around, you're going to burn about 1.0. So this is almost nothing. So take a look at some of these. If you do a lot of these throughout the day, you're probably not getting a lot of benefit. And you want to think about how can I get my body moving and burn more calories and really get to a more healthy state. So resting and sitting, we're burning 1.0. Conversations, 1.0. So as we can see now, we're moving into work. So sitting at a desk, we're doing something. We're burning a little bit more. Bricklaying, plastering, and these are these things that I'll talk to a lot of people and they say, I'm a construction worker. I'm active all day. So doesn't that count? Well, we can see right here, bricklaying and plastering, that's hard work, but it's not like cardio. You're not burning a lot of energy doing that kind of stuff because over time, our body is so efficient that it burns less calories doing the same thing. This is why there's always a need to push a little bit harder, walk a little bit further, do a little bit more because our body always adapts to what we're doing. So this is why you can see someone who works really hard, but over time they start to gain weight. Their body is getting more efficient at doing that same task. So now we're moving up into some more physical activity, and we can see how these numbers start to go up. We're really burning more energy, and it makes more sense, right? We're swimming, we're running, we're jogging. Now we can see how this is quite different from the bricklayer or someone who's working in carpentry. And so if you're really physically fit, level running at 15 miles an hour, you're burning nearly 30 minutes. That's super fast. That's hard to do. And everyone should be striving to get closer to that level, right? So these are some regular activities, canoeing. Even these things aren't super strenuous. So ballroom dancing, table tennis, they don't burn a lot of calories. So just to give you another chart to see what the average man and woman burns on a daily basis is 5 to 7. But to get to that super athlete status, we got to really ramp it up. So how do we ramp it up? We can find out, use this simple formula, and you guys don't have to figure out this formula. There's a website here, Top End Sports, which you can just plug in your heart rate and it'll give you these numbers that you need to train at. But if someone wants to train at 60% intensity based on their resting heart rate, got this 50-year-old man, his heart rate max of 175. Everyone has an individual max heart rate based on their age. So if you take 220 minus your age, that's going to give you what's called your age predicted max heart rate. And that's important to know because then we can train at different intensities based on our max heart rate. Now, the max heart rate doesn't mean if you're 50 and your max heart rate is 170, it doesn't mean that you can't go any above 170. You absolutely can. When I was working at that age management clinic in Vegas, we would put people on the VO2 max machine. We would push them to the max level. And we would routinely see 60, 70-year-olds get well above their max heart rate. But that's based on their experience, their training, history, and all those things. So it is very possible to exceed that, but most people do not. So this is an example of how we can get to those right heart rates and get into the appropriate level of fitness. So if you want interested in finding out what training range you need to be at, Top End Sports is a great website to figure out. Of course, you could always ask me and I could help you figure it out too. So if you don't want to use that scale, that's a little bit too strenuous, too difficult. You could also use what's called a rate of perceived exertion scale. This is just when you feel how hard are you working. So if you feel like you can't you can't get words out, then you're probably going to be somewhere around this 8-9 level. If you're walking steady state and you're doing like a cardiovascular type of training, you're going to be at 5 or 6. So it just kind of depends on where you want to be. So for high intensity cardio, we want to be able to push that heart rate up to nearly 75 to 85% or 7 to 8 on the perceived rate of exertion scale. And this feels challenging. It's going to feel like you're breathless and you may need to work up to this level, but that's the level that we all want to strive to get to over time so that we can get the most benefit out of that cardio. But to start there, everyone is starting already just increasing the what we call the frequency right now. So everyone started last week walking to 15 minutes a day, and that's the beginning phase of getting into cardio. And as we move up, we move into this moderate intensity where we move to this 4 to 6 scale. And this is going to feel like a scale where you can still talk a little bit, but you may not want to talk a little bit. Low intensity is a little bit lower, and this is the rate where everyone kind of starts at. And this is a 3 to 5. Good level for warm-ups, good for activities. And of course, depending on your level and how hard you feel you can push, this is a good place to start as well. Intervals, we'll look at that later. So when it comes to training, we talked about last week getting started with 15 minutes a day, and that was our frequency. So great job on everyone who started that frequency. And then now we're going to start looking at the intensity over the next few weeks. How can we get more out of this cardio program? And then after we get the intensity up to the proper level, you can look into the time and then the type. And this is a system that trainers will use to make sure people don't plateau with their cardio. And you can kind of go back and forth between these different acronyms. So the frequency, intensity, time, and type. So maybe on week 3, you increase your frequency from 2 days to 3. Week 4, maybe you bump your intensity up a little bit.
Mhm.
Week 5, you increase your time. So you go from 20 minutes to 21 minutes. And then you've been walking for 3 weeks. And we talked about earlier how your body starts to adapt to doing the same thing over and over. So now it may be time to go from the treadmill to the elliptical. And that's going to put your body in this state where it hasn't adapted to the elliptical yet. So it's going to keep the body guessing, meaning it's going to burn even more calories doing that same thing. So going back and forth between frequency, intensity, time, and type will allow you to get a little bit more out of your cardio workout. So let's go. So intervals. So once we have gotten the frequency down, we can start looking at getting some intervals in. So this would mean just doing a 3 to 5 minute warm up. This interval could be, instead of walking at a 3.5 pace, maybe you walk at 3.4. Everyone's intensity is different. So you know your body, you listen to your body, you know what a challenge feels like to your body. So just listen to that and let that guide you as far as how much intensity you increase to, and just get 1 minute of a little bit more intensity into that 20 minutes that you've already been doing, and see how many times you can repeat it. Maybe you're gonna get 1 minute of high intensity in your 20-minute workout week 1. Maybe next week you get 2 minutes of high intensity, whatever that feels like. So as long as you're consistently aware of, I need to be pushing a little bit harder and a little bit harder and creating these new challenges for myself. So here's an example of what an interval training workout could look like. 30 seconds in the max effort zone, followed by 1 minute in the fitness zone. So you're going back and forth between pushing it really hard and bringing it down, pushing it really hard and bringing it down. And over time, this is going to create that epoch effects that we talked about earlier, where your body's going to burn more calories after you're done than it would have otherwise. And you only get that effect by pushing the heart rate up really high. So just be aware of, hey, am I really pushing? Am I getting to a state where I'm breathing a little bit harder than I would be if I was just talking? And
Mhm.
um,
Right.
and that should be enough. Do we have any questions? Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I have a question, and
Sure.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you were
No,
talking
you're
about
okay.
the target heart rate. What about the resting heart rate? It because I've been dealing with something pertaining to, since I had that, been very dehydrated. My resting heart rate has been high,
Okay.
and sometimes it's high, and then I'm like, okay, well maybe I need to just not do anything. But when you're talking about your target heart rate, can you help me on that, or how would I?
Sure. When you're talking your resting heart rate, are you saying when you wake up in the morning, your resting heart rate is elevated or throughout the day?
Sometimes throughout the day, most definitely, but sometimes I don't, sometimes in the morning. Um, I,
Okay. And
I
what number are you at, Auntie? If you
well,
uh,
it had gotten up to 130, I think 133. That's why I was hospitalized, because I didn't know what was going on. But
hmm
then I think the latest now has been like 110, like 96. I hadn't gone below 96.
Okay. So that seems like a very special condition with the heart rate there. Generally speaking, a resting heart rate is between 60 and 80. Excuse me. And to really those really well-trained athletes, they can get their resting heart rate or true resting heart rate, which is when you wake up in the morning, you haven't really awakened with an alarm, could be 40 to 60. Now, in your state, Auntie, I think a rate of perceived exertion scale would be more accurate. Just because if you were to plug in that heart rate into this formula here, let's say 110, it's gonna put your max heart rate way over what it would normally be. And
Right.
220 minus your age would put you somewhere around, I would say about 180 for your no one yeah, around 170 for your max heart rate. So doing that heart rate of 100 and something will put you way over. So I would say for you, using a stated rate of perceived exertion scale like this would be more accurate, just because in that state you want to rely on how your body's feeling. And these formulas they're more general in a sense,
Right.
whereas the rate of perceived exertion scale can be more individualized, and you can know if you're pushing hard or not. So that's what I was advise for that, just kind of using a rate of perceived exertion scale. Did your doctors advise you to, stay away from getting your heart rate up too high or with exercise?
No, not really, because they exercise. They determined they think that mainly it was the level of dehydration that I had. I'm not sure, but
Sure.
and then they told me that for my age that it could be up to 100. They told me 80 to 100. I mean 60 to 100. So, but no, that is not that. It's just I can literally feel my heart like pounding, pop, pop, pop.
Okay.
And I've gotten EKGs, all of that. My heart, she said my heart sounds great, and
Okay.
it's great. So, but
Yeah.
the fact of the pacing and probably just removing stress.
That was what I was gonna say. In those times, probably some deep relaxation breaths may work, like some 4 block breathing. They just really kind of work on the parasympathetic nervous system to really calm everything down.
Right,
That's what I would advise for there. But if your heart is healthy, doing this type of interval training over time should push your resting heart rate down lower and lower.
right,
And if your heart rate was up for dehydration, it's just not enough fluid in the body, so the heart has to work harder to get the fluid pumped to everything else. So that would cause an accelerated resting heart rate. So of course, staying dehydrated, finding some deep breath techniques to calm down in those situations. And over time, using the rate of perceived exertion scale and listening to your body will allow you then to kind of control how hard you're working. But over time, we should see your resting heart rate decrease
right.
somewhere below 80 because as you do more cardiovascular exercise, the left ventricle, which pumps the blood through the body, gets stronger and more efficient. So it gets more efficient at doing that. So I would look for it to come down over time.
All right. Thank you. Thank
Yep.
you.
Hopefully that answered your question.
You did. That was very, very thorough. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can
You're
I
welcome.
comment on that?
Sure.
Okay. My heart rate is 72 because I could do it on my watch. But I actually take medication to keep my heart rate kind of low.
Yeah.
I take it twice a day, in the morning and then at night before I go to bed, because my heart used to, palpitate, beat really fast. And so I'm on that medication to kind of keep it leveled out.
Yeah. So your concern is how high could you get your heart rate up with that medication? Is that kind
Right.
of your question?
Yeah.
Um, So with those type of beta blockers and things that bring the heart rate down, a rate of perceived exertion scale will be great also for you, mom, because you're just not going to physically be able to get your heart rate up to those levels based on these formulas. And that's
Right.
why I always try to use the formula in short, because that's what the science says that we should use based on these percentages of max heart rate. But oftentimes with these different scenarios like yours and with Andy's, they're totally different scenarios, but they do both necessitate the reason for individualizing it based on your own experience. So that's why I think the rate of perceived exertion scale will be good for you. And just listening to your body, because you're not going to be able to get your heart rate up to where these formulas say that you should. And that's okay, as long as you're really accurate with the rate of perceived exertion scale. So, and what I mean by that, by accurate, is don't just listen to your body. Don't baby yourself and say you're at an 8 when you're really at. I'm sorry, don't baby yourself and say you're at an 8 and you're really working at a 4. Really kind of challenge yourself and really listen. But as you get more and more experienced, you'll understand what these different levels feel like here. So that'll take some time and practice, but using this scale will also help you be able to determine what intensity you're at based on the level of your heart rate, based on these meds, because they're just not going to let you be able to get it up, and that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. So and what I mean by that, by using the scale, you'll know when you're breathing hard. You'll know when you feel like this is uncomfortable. I can talk a little bit, but I really don't want to talk. And that's a good enough scale to know that you're in the oxygenation phase. And so what that means is like, in order to do cardio for a long time, you watch these endurance runners, they're going at a pace in which they can take in enough oxygen
Yeah.
steady enough so that it can stop their legs from building lactate. So And so if you watch a sprinter, they're gonna fail really quickly because their muscles are going so fast. They're utilizing so much oxygen that the oxygen can't buffer the lactate. So their body just says, you know what, you got to stop. But
Right.
when you're going at a pace where you can breathe in enough, that oxygen allows the body to get rid of the lactate, which doesn't cause the muscles to feel like they need to stop, so you can keep going. And you'll recognize, hey, I'm breathing pretty hard, but I'm getting enough oxygen where I can keep this pace up. And that's what you're looking for to be in the cardiovascular zone. And that's also a zone that lets you know when your body is utilizing fat for energy because it takes oxygen to burn fat. So that's a good indicator too. But we can get into more the physiology of those different pathways when we talk about weight training and how that works. But so that's a good gauge, Mom. Just kind of using how you feel.
Okay.
So I think we were almost done really with just cardio. The last three things are how to implement all this stuff into it. We've talked a little bit about these zones, which you can use the formula on Top End Sports to figure out what percentage you want to train at, depending on which one of these types of modes you want to start to do. And then once you start, you figure out the mode, just start small. All workouts are effective. Take a few minutes throughout the day to be a little bit more active. So choose the stairs, go speed walking through the grocery store if you can. Set a timer if you want. Play a game with yourself. Say, I'm gonna, get these few things in 5 minutes instead of walking through the store super slowly. That all helps. Take the stairs, pick the furthest parking spot. We've all heard these little things. Be
Right.
opportunistic to burn calories. Yeah, so that's just holding yourself accountable to what I'm gonna burn some more calories a day. Challenge yourself in that way. Make time for the workouts. Put them on your schedule. Make it a priority, and don't miss the appointment. Once it's on your calendar, just show up. Don't miss that appointment because it's the most important appointment you can have with yourself to make sure you're taking care of yourself, which then allows you to do all the other things in life that much better and have, really enjoy life. So make that appointment a priority. Don't miss it. If you need to pay someone to exercise, do it. This is how I make my money. This is my bread and butter. I have this one guy I've been training for about 3 years. I've helped him gain weight, lose weight, gain muscle, get a six pack, but he doesn't necessarily need me to show him those things as I've taught him all. But he's like, man, if you're not here, I'm not even going to show up. So
Ah,
I have to pay you. So I'm going to show up. So if you need to pay me, and I'll make sure you show up or find a trainer in your area to make sure you don't miss. It's that important. Do something, anything. If it takes 5 minutes, if you think 5 minutes is enough, you couldn't be more wrong. So whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 60 minutes, just get moving, get started on this cardio. And the studies also show that if you walk up the stairs once or twice, you notice that your heart rate is elevated. That's going to put you into that epoch state that we were talking about earlier, where your metabolism is going to be boosted for another 10 minutes or 15 minutes after doing those stairs. And you'll notice it because you're breathing hard for a few more minutes afterwards. So that's a good sign to burn more calories. So take advantage of those situations and make sure you're getting that heart rate up and improving the heart health. Last but not least, some few takeaways. Establish a goal. What do you want to do? Is it 3 days, 2 days? Do you want to work on interval training? Do you want to just practice steady state for a few weeks? Whatever it may be, establish that goal. Make it your priority. Put it on your calendar. Start small if you have to. Be consistent. Don't miss. Always show up for yourself. And then listen to your body. Last but not least, we're all individuals. We all have our own individual goals. So make sure you're listening to your body because it's going to let you know when you need to push. It's going to let you know when something's too easy for you, and you'll know when you need to be challenged more. So take advantage of the tool of listening to your body. And that was it, guys. That was it. So, if there are any
wow. That
questions?
great.
Would
That was great.
I want to share this when you said that about the stairs. I was talking to Pat last night coming up those stairs. And
uh-huh.
once I got up there, I said, hold on a minute, I got to catch my breath.
Right.
So I give out of breath walking up the stairs, and especially
Yeah,
if I'm carrying something. So as soon as I get up, I'm going to have to sit down for a minute.
Mm.
yeah. That's true. That's true. And just keep listening to your body. Maybe this week you have to sit down, and 2 weeks set a goal. You know what? I might try it twice and see if I can go twice now.
Okay.
Yeah, and just see if. But one thing about the stairs too, it kind of puts your body in a little bit of a fight or flight mode where your heart rate kicks up a little bit because it's experiencing a very rapid need to increase its intensity. So
Mhm.
it's not quite the same as, just being quote unquote out of shape when you're going for a walk and you get your heart rate up. So that is why it is that immediate boom, my heart rate's out of, I feel like I'm just so out of breath. But it
Mm.
is also a good challenge for the body to get in shape. So I'm glad you're aware of that, Mom. Keep pushing, see if you can go 1.5 store next time and just keep getting a little bit better and better.
Okay.
Thanks for sharing that.
Hey, Rod, your
Yes.
Aunt Angie tends to laugh at me when she sees me in the pool and I'm jogging around in that water. She thinks it's
What?
hilarious.
What, you making too many splashes or what? What's going on?
No, I said I'm exercising. She thinks it's the funniest thing.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
You
I
got to
know
get
it's
it off. You got to
exercise,
get it
but
on
it's just
film. Get it
it
on the
looks like
film
a
for us so I can
cartoon.
see.
I will. And your Uncle Martin, he does laps. I mean, he
That
does
boy
laps back and
bad.
forth.
Hey,
Mhm.
you just got to block out that noise, Auntie. Those
I
haters
block
out
her out.
there.
Haters,
Don't let those
haters.
haters slow you
I know,
Thank
hater,
you.
hater. I'm gonna come over tonight. How about that, Pat?
Come
down.
on, come on.
You got to
But
get
that's a
her in the
great
pool with you.
exercise. It's
I
great
love
Absolutely, it
exercise.
is.
Yes.
Absolutely. I think swimming was pretty high up on that list
It
of
was
things to
30.
do. Yeah, it
30.
was up there. Yeah,
Wow.
don't let them slow you down. Stay in that
Thank
pool.
you. Thank you.
Put on your hater
I,
blockers again. Put on your
Yeah.
I
sun.
shall.
So you're gonna get out in the pool tonight too, Aunt Angie?
I think it may be a challenge.
Okay,
But
And
all right. I
and
like it.
Rob, we
I
tell the family, hey, the pool is open, and we have wetsuits so they can swim, and when it gets
it's
cooler,
amazing.
we
It's
got we got fins so they can put fins on to really help with their legs.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. Great for the
okay.
joints. I have
Yes,
all these senior citizens I go to their homes and help them with their balance and gait, and they all love the pool. A lot of them
yes,
are in that pool 3 days a week, and they're like, I can work on my balance in there, and I can float around and jump up and down. It's like being a
right.
kid again in the pool, right?
Until you
Right.
get
Yeah, it's
out and
fun
realize that was fairy tales.
when that
Yeah.
gravity kick in.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
I
still
love
gravity
that.
out here. Yeah, it's out here.
Yes,
Yeah, it's
yes,
out here. Yeah, it's
yeah.
fun though. Well, that's awesome that you
Appreciate you.
guys are. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad to help out in any way I can. I appreciate
Thank
you
you.
all for being here and showing up
Thank
today.
you.
What would you guys like to talk about next week? Give me a few pointers or input on what you guys like to hear.
Let's see.
Maybe some things about balance because I've been losing my
Okay,
balance.
Yeah, good.
balance. All right, we can do some
Mhm.
balance.
Me
I
too.
like
Yeah,
the chair exercises too now. I thought that was very helpful.
Mhm.
But I'm good with the balance and the flexibility and just staying disciplined really I think that that's a key thing for everything.
for
Eating,
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I was talking to your brother earlier today about discipline. And he said that's just it. He said everything, he just has to be more disciplined. And I think that sometimes can be a taboo word to us or even a curse word sometimes. But
For sure.
I
Yeah,
think just learn a little bit more about that and not getting discouraged because, and I love how you say you can do any little bit counts and whatever it counts because, and you don't despise the small. And I think that that's great. That's what make you a great trainer. And you don't, because you could train the little child and then you change training somebody for, the Olympics. And so, but that they all feel that they matter and that what they're doing matters and that not getting discouraged and just stopping all. I've been there before. I've gotten discouraged.
yes,
Like, well, why do I keep doing this if it's not working? I'm gonna tell you this. I mean, for a whole year, I lost no weight. I exercised. I went to the gym seven
Yeah.
times a week.
Yeah.
I changed my diet, but my metabolism was a beast. My metabolism had to be past many because it was just hounding me. I could not let go. But then after that, maybe about a year or so, I lost almost 100 pounds. you
That's
know,
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
just start coming off then. And so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Because
about to, give it up because like, why am I doing all this? It's the same. It's the same. But the reward came, it just came a lot later than what I was expecting.
well, that's awesome, and thanks for sharing that. And it's a great story, Auntie. And discipline is huge. And I learned through my own experience to have patience with myself and with clients because we're all on our individual journeys. And that word discipline to me is also, being a disciple or a student. And what we're talking about being a student of is a student of ourself. And it's all a learning process of how our body responds to food and to exercise and the emotions that we have around those things. And just
Mhm.
learning so we can reshape our minds and thoughts about all of those is really important. And staying the course like you did, Auntie, is really great because the only person we're really showing up for at the end of the day is ourselves when it comes
That's
to this
right.
exercise.
Mhm.
And the last person you want to give up on is yourself.
Yeah.
So I encourage myself and my clients, hey, we're in this game together. You're in this for you, not for me. And as long as you keep that top of mind to keep showing up for yourself each day, and then looking at the encouragement of those around us, which is why I wanted to do this group so that we can talk about the experience that we're all going through to improve our health. I can share my experiences, and hearing you guys' story as well also makes me stay on the path. So it's a symbiotic relationship that we have between all of us. And I thank you guys for being here, and just keep
Thank
showing up
you.
and being students of yourselves. And we'll do it again next week. And we'll be talking about some balance and gait. So be prepared to work out. We'll go through some balance and gait exercises, and then of course we're doing Q&A and celebrate the victories as usual. So
I love that. I love
Oh
that.
Love
yeah,
it.
Rod.
Bernice said she did some
Richard. Oh,
balance
I'm
exercise.
sorry.
I'm
uh-huh.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Richard said that he want to catch it later. He's trying to make some money. He's outside cutting my grass, so
Ah,
Oh,
he
he's
will
he's good.
catch it later.
Okay.
he
he's
recorded it,
he
right?
cuts
That's
and grass.
fun.
Yeah, I recorded
Yeah,
it. I'll put it in
yeah.
the group chat
Okay,
here in a bit. Well, that's
okay.
awesome. Tell Uncle Richard I said, what's up? It's got to be hot out there, right? At
Yeah,
noon? Okay.
he's got another one he said to do today, so he's trying to make that money.
Okay. Yeah, you got to make that money. I hear you. That's important. I got to go make that money right now myself.
All
Okay,
right, go
All
make
right.
it.
okay.
Well, I love you guys. Have a great
Love
week,
you.
We
and
love
great to
you.
see your
Love you
faces.
too.
All right.
Thank you. Love you.
Bye.
Thanks a
Love
lot.
you guys.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye,
Love you.
Bye.
everybody.
Thank you.
Bye. Love you
Stay
too.
the
Bye.
course. Stay the course.